What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Filthy 5150 RC channel, and today we got something new. Now, I did not do a build series on this one, and I really wish I did, because this would have been the start of my beginner build series for quads. I have been gone for a while. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to bore you guys with the details. But it wasn't because I wanted to, it was because I had to. So things that have been going on in the RC part of my life are a lot, actually. I've done a lot more flying since, not the last video, because that was just 8 hours ago, or more at the time of the shooting. A lot more flying. I was into drones, as you guys saw with the Zero Explorer V. I was shooting a lot with that. I was actually flying quite a bit with that. And finally I decided, you know what, it's time to build a quad. And people were like, you don't know anything about it, you're new, you don't understand how it works or what it does or what you need to do to build a drone, or quad, excuse me. Well, I'm hard-headed, to say the least. And when someone tells me that I don't know what I'm doing and I don't have enough skill to do that, I will prove them wrong. Henceforth, what showed up in this video today. This was the very first quad build that I have ever done, excuse me. And I've made a couple changes. I can say that I have built this quad for under $320. And you can too. It's very easy, actually. The hardest part is the programming part, but if you reference YouTube University on all of these parts and programs, especially Joshua Bardwell's channel, or UAV Futures, or MR.STEELE, or Blue Phoenix, those guys go really in depth about quads, programming, using Betaflight, using Clean Flight, how to flash your ESCs using BL Heli S or BL Heli Sweep. All this stuff is on YouTube. I'm not going to say that I'm a quad genius because I can build a quad. Basically, I went quad nuts, but it's okay. It's something I really like and I'm really into right now. And I don't think this is going to be going away, because flying something versus driving something, there's no comparison. The feeling of flying is so awesome. I mean, I get it now when everybody's like, you need to get in the air, you need to fly, you need to do this. I get it now. I understand it. Hands down. I'm actually trying to convert one of my buddies who said he would never fly, and now he's like, well, if we could set it up to where it's a little bit easier for me to fly, and I'm like, hell yeah, as long as you're flying, we're good to go. Anyways, back to this build. I tried to keep it as simple as I possibly could, like I said. With a lot of help and a lot of questions asked, I came up with doing a 4-inch frame build. I found it on gearbest.com. It's GEP RC frame, CHIMP frame, 4-inch frame. And the reason I went with the 4-inch is because a lot of people said it's not the easiest to build because it's tighter. It's a smaller stack. It's smaller in space overall. But flying it is going to be a lot more forgiving than a 5-inch. A 5-inch is going to have more thrust, more speed, more agility. It's going to be snappier, all that kind of stuff. So with this being the first build and pretty much first quad flying like this aggressive, I was like, okay, I'm going to go with a 4-inch. So I did the GEP RC frame, 4-inch frame. Basically, if you're looking at it on gearbest.com, it is the CHIMP 4-inch frame. And I do believe they have kits, but I didn't want a kit. I wanted the experience of knowing what ESC to go with and why, and what PDB to go with and why, and what flight controller to go with and why, and what VTX to go with and why, and basically trying to kill two birds with one stone instead of asking repetitive questions so all these other people I wanted to learn and understand it why before I purchased it. So I did a lot of research, did a lot of digging, ended up talking with, paying a lot over ESC choices, over flight controller choices, PDB choices, all that good stuff, and seeing how important it was to have, like, maybe in something this small, having like a 2-in-1 or a 3-in-1 or an all-in-one system, which I didn't go with because I wanted the experience of soldering everything together, not just plugging it in, and understanding where stuff should go. So I think that's very important for your first build, is you should understand those things. Where do I put the telemetry wire on the flight controller to my receiver? That kind of stuff was the stuff that I wanted to understand. So, and getting an all-in-one, it's kind of like, for instance, the TBS, I believe it's the Elite Cube. A lot of that is plug and play. The only thing that you're kind of soldering is your leads and your ESC power and ground, and maybe some of the VTX. Maybe. I'm not 100%, but as far as I understand, it's literally that easy, and that's why they make it like that. So I didn't want to cheat myself. I wanted to understand how these things work, how they solder together, where they solder together, and why. Maybe I took it a little too far, maybe I was overthinking it, but I think that was the right way to do it because now I understand it. Let me look here on my flight controller, and then I can find it a lot faster instead of getting frustrated going, I have no idea what's going on. So, moving on. We're going to get into the pieces that I used for this build. I guess we'll start with the antenna because that's just sticking out like a sore thumb. This was not the original antenna for this, actually. I was using a Amway cloverleaf right-hand polarized SMA or RSMA, which I can't remember which, antenna that I had on here, which was working fine for the first 2 or 3 flights, and I took the advice of everybody and I hot glued the cloverleaf and made sure it was hot glued down to the stem, not the whole stem, just down onto the stem, so it was kind of fixated at the joint. And it worked really, really good. After about like 3 or 4 or 5 crashes, I think, because I had it bent up this way, it was taking so much abuse that it started spinning the antenna while the connector was still tight. So the antenna was still spinning. So while I was flying, it would, from the vibration of the quad itself, in flight, it would actually slowly just drop right into the path of the blade or the prop, and the prop would hit it and it would bounce back onto this one. And then this prop would hit it and it would bounce back or tuck it under, and then I would get some crazy weird oscillation in the ass end of the quad while I was flying. And so I went with the Foxeer little shorty antenna, and they call, I guess it's like their unbreakable one or whatever it is with the casing and everything. And it's worked great. It's short, it stays out of the way of the props, and I think it actually fits the build a little bit better. Excuse me. I call this one the Little Devil because it's got the red Foxeer antenna, and then I put some red shrink tube on there for the antennas themselves, and it kind of makes it look like the devil, you know, with horns and everything. So I think it looks kind of cool. I really like it. Moving on, this frame is actually really, really cool. It has a 4mm single plate, which means the arms are attached to the actual center of the plate. And it's all one piece, nice and thick, and trust me, I've hit the ground pretty hard. I mean, I've buried, I think it was this motor here, over halfway in the mud. I mean, it just, I was trying to do a crazy barrel roll, spin, flat spin, top spin, whatever you want to call it. And basically, I was just trying to do something new, and it didn't work out very well. And I ended up flopping all the way over, and it was in a punch because I was trying to punch it back out, and I went the wrong way, and I just knifed it right into the ground, basically. And literally, my quad was sticking out of the ground like that, with the motors halfway buried in the ground. And no stress, none of the delaminating of the carbon, nothing at all. It actually worked out really well, and is really a selling point for this particular quad. And I would probably vouch the same for the 5-inch. So another cool feature of this quad is going to be the GoPro mount. Stock, when you tighten everything down, it has a 45-degree angle here. So for those of us who already know how to fly and are flying at pretty good rates of speed, we're going to be upwards of here. I don't know if you could tell how high. Let's see if I can turn it that way. So we're going to be upwards of like that rate in terms of flying, which is pretty forward. Maybe even a little bit less with the wide angle lens on there, but it's nice because you can adjust that angle. So say if you move on from this quad and this just becomes the trainer quad for, say, your friends or, you know, somebody that you're trying to help out, and this is what your quad should feel like, and blah 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 blah, and they want to record the footage that they're filming. If you loosen the 4 screws, so there's 2 on this side, right there, 1, 2, and there's 2 on this side, 1, 2. If you loosen them up, you can actually swing this up a little bit higher, take away some of the angle, and flatten it out. So if somebody is flying flatter like this, their GoPro footage isn't staring up at the sky, it's actually more forward. So that was a really cool feature that I thought of mentioning in this particular video, because some of them come with fixed angles, and so you have to cut like a particular foam or some sort of mount or 3D print a different degree of angle for your GoPro mount, where this already has an adjustment, so you just swing this up or down and get your angle already. I would probably put some of just the foam sticky tape right here, or you know, the double-sided foam tape, or if you have foam, because your strap will go around the GoPro and snug it down really nice and tight. In terms of a GoPro session, I'm not really sure on how I would mount it, because if you pull this up all the way, you still don't have room to mount a strap. So I think you would have to run either a regular GoPro, you know, 3, 4, 5, or a camera, action camera along those lines. So anyways, moving on, I guess we'll kind of work our way into the inside guts of this guy. Let's see. Excuse me, getting over a little cold. So right at the bottom here, the very bottom, let's see if I can use the other side and get a little bit more of an up close and personal shot, but you really can't see in there, it's pretty dark. But anyways, right from where the leads are coming off of is my Maytech PDB OSD combo. The reason I went for a PDB OSD combo is because you can see it. Look how much room you got in there. There's not a whole lot in there, actually. So if you really want to try and save space, you're going to start going with 2-in-1s, 3-in-1s, all-in-ones, that kind of thing. But like I mentioned before, I didn't want to go all-in-one because I wanted the experience of putting everything together. And then there is my flight controller. Now a lot of people are probably going to ask me what flight controller I'm running. So it's a X-Racer F303 version 3.1. Now that is a very easy flight controller to program and to run. It is flashed with Betaflight. So the one program that most commonly used next to CleanFlight, or you know, in pair with CleanFlight, you know, those two kind of go hand in hand. You're either running one or the other. And like I said, very easy to program. Hooked it up, no problem flashing. After I flashed it, I went into the configurator and I just ran all that stuff, got all my serial ports done, got it set up for the Tyrannus, got it set up with the X4 RSB, and I was off and flying that same day. So it wasn't like an all day, oh my god, I'm pulling out my hair, it's a flight controller, I gotta program it, I gotta flash it, I gotta run the Arduino, blah blah blah. Now, with that being said, I was at that point. I was at the point where I was pulling out my hair because this wasn't the original flight controller that I went with. I only picked this flight controller after talking to one of the local frame builders from Skyline RC by the name of Pang. Just amazing. By the way, if you guys don't know Skyline RC, I'll mention it one more time. I have a video that's already posted with the unboxing of the Skyline RC and everything that comes with. That will be the actual next build series, will be the Skyline Raptor. So be looking for that. And like I said, the first episode will be posted before this one. So if you didn't see it, take a look back at the playlist or the videos and you'll find it. The web address is skylinei.com, and the frame that I'm going to be running is the Raptor 210, which is, oh my god, it's so sick. But you'll see it in the video if you haven't already. Anyways, so this was the actual first flight controller that I got. It is by SP Racing F3 plus OST. So this originally was my 2-in-1, and then I ran a PDB that came with the chassis. Well, I was running the Arduino. I was trying to program it, get it all set up, and then all of a sudden the Arduino like flashed right in the middle of me setting it up, and or basically blinked on the screen. I didn't touch anything. I don't know what happened, but it basically, I'm assuming it wiped everything that's on the board, because now it just says that there's no serial port. So that was really frustrating, and I dealt with that for about a week and a half, and then I finally met up with Pang, and he helped me out and basically just said, throw it away and go get this flight controller, and I promise you, you'll be flying in a day. And sure enough, I got the flight controller, looked at the schematics, looked at the blueprints of how to wire it, and followed Blue Falcon's how to connect telemetry and power to that flight controller, and I was up and running. It was so easy. Holy cow, it was easy. All I can say was, if you're new, go with that flight controller. That flight controller and that PDB with that OSD, you'll be good. I promise you. You're not missing out on anything being brand new. You could sort out all the expensive stuff later, but if you're starting out, go with that combo and you're good. The receiver I'm running is the Taranis X4RSB. I think I'm saying that right. Basically, I took it out of its case. It's this guy right here. I took it out of its case and got rid of it because the case is just taking up way too much room. And as you can see, the video transmitter, or the VTX, is actually butted up right against it. I mean, I can't even see that LED, which sucks, but it is what it is. I had to mount it that way because I ran my antennas into the back and then down and back out around, because my antennas were so long that I needed to take away some of that length. But anyways, and I am running the FX VTX, the 600 milliwatt switching. So it will switch from, you know, I think it was under 200 all the way up to 600 milliwatt for signal. So that way I'm not blasting everybody else that I'm flying with, which is kind of nice. I'm sure they'll appreciate it too. And like I said, this stuff is not costing you an arm and a leg, people. I mean, I literally built this quad for under 320 bucks. Some people look at it, you know, when I first built it and all was all brand new, and they were like, wait, how much did you build it for? How did you do that? And I'm like, it's not that hard. You just got to look and be patient, and don't go after the number one thing right now, because you're going to pay for it, you know. Next up is going to be the XS 30 amp BL Heli S ESCs by DYS. And flashing them on the BL Heli suite was really easy. Pang once again walked me through it, and once I did it the first time, I was like, oh, I got it. I can do this. It's super easy. It's nothing difficult, and there's tons of actual videos on YouTube on how to do it, and it's really easy. So you just have to make sure, the biggest thing is you have to make sure that you have all the right drivers to set up yourself before you flash anything or set up or calibrate anything on your quad. You have to make sure you have all of the right drivers, and they're all going to be listed on the bottom of, say, like Betaflight or CleanFlight. It will tell you on like mid-page left side or something like that, it'll tell you the drivers that are needed, and then you just search your computer, see if you have them. If you don't have them, just download them. It's just that easy. Anyways, the last thing is going to be the RunCam Swift. So I didn't want to pay a whole lot of money for a camera. I got the camera on sale. It was like a flash sale from GearBest, and I got the camera for like $27 or something. I think it was less than that. But anyways, I was flying with it, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. I mean, coming from the Wizard 220, it was way clearer. I can adjust tons of the light functions on there and get a better picture, brighter without more blowouts, basically. And but I still felt like I couldn't see everything that I wanted to. So then I kept looking online, and everybody was suggesting just get, $13, $14 GoPro replacement lens. And I was like, well, what the hell, I'll try it. If it doesn't work, then I can move on to another camera. I didn't know if it was the camera or not. And then I got the Victoria, I don't know, I can't remember the actual name of the company right now, but it's a 2.5 millimeter GoPro replacement lens, and holy cow, it made a world of difference. I mean, look at the size of that thing. It's ginormous. It's amazing how well this lens works and how much of a difference it made. And I will say right now, if you're learning how to fly, put that lens on it. If you're learning how to fly FPV, hands down, that's my #1 recommendation. Change your lens up. Don't fly with the stock lenses in there. Fly with the 2.5 upgraded wide angled lens, fisheye, whatever you want to call it. Wow, that's all I can say. But anyways, that's all I got for you. I mean, this is a really good flyer. It's really fun. I'm still learning how to fly. I'm still learning how to fly FPV. I'm still learning how to fly line of sight. I'm still learning how to fly through a gate. So please don't think that just because I built this, oh, he's really good, he's just a natural talent. No, it doesn't work like that. In my case, there's some people that just get it right away and get how to fly and just pick up some sticks and go at it, but that's not my case at all. So if you guys have any other questions or comments, please let me know down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And that's all I got for you today. So, like I said, any questions, comments, hit me up down below. Comment. You can go to the discussion part on my main page and get me that way. If you want to email me, leave me an email. I'll get back to you with any replies or answers to your questions that I might have. But anyways, we will see you guys on the next one, and thanks for watching. All the new subscribers, thank you for checking in, and thumbs up all the way around. Get out there and do something RC today. We'll see ya.